Hello everyone, I welcome to you in the Footwear Computer Aided Design classes. In this class we will learn about the 3D design, three-dimensional method of the design. In the earlier classes we have learned about 2D and we have completed all types of stylized footwear design with the 2D, two-dimensional method. In this class we will use about three-dimensional method. You can see into the screen. This is the three-dimensional method of design. So now we will learn about the design of the 3D sport shoe design, which is a very complicated parts of the design. We will use very innovative and easiest method to accomplish this complicated design work. So let's start. We have to go to the 3D option. You can see here in this software there is the 3D. You have to left click over there, then you have to go to the import 3D last. So in this class we will learn about the importing techniques also. So you have to go to the import and you have to select any last and open it. Now the last has imported into the work area. So now next very important work is that we have to convert it into 2D also. So for that purpose we have to go to the flattening, left click over there, and you can see here inner or outer. So both we have to trace, and after that you have to go to the copy. We have to copy the 2D also, and then OK. Now with this process, whatever design work we will do in 3D, simultaneously it will be ready into 2D also. So we have to apply the textures of the sport shoes. It's a very innovative methods of design. So we have to go to the background texture and then load from file, and after that you have to, so sport shoe, we have to select this texture and we have to import it into the work area. After the importing of this texture, we have to adjust the last and we have to put this last on this texture. After the adjustment of the last according to the texture of these styles of the shoes, we have to lock it. After locking, now we are ready to apply the designs as usual. To go to the 3D, and then we have to start the tracing of these styles of the shoes. Now you have to left click and like this, left click, and likewise we have to trace this shapes of the design. And to finish this line we have to come to this icon and left click over there. After that we have to come to this facing pattern. We have to trace likewise, and we have to end this line over here. Similarly we have to trace this counter portion of this styles of the shoes. And then finish the line. Now we have to trace the counter strap. From here to here we have to draw a straight line and finish the line. Similarly we have to trace the other line of this strap and finish the line by clicking left click and drag this strap and then finish the line. Similarly we have to trace this line like this. As is, in the same way we have to select this strap. After the selection of this strap, next very important thing is the tongue. We have to draw the tongue. And then finish the line. After finishing of this thing, so we have to come to this next very important pattern. This is called the toe wings. So we have to trace this toe wings. And then we have to finish this line. After the completion of these things, we have to finish this work. After the finishing of this work, we have to go to the window and we have to close the background texture. Now we have to correct all these lines, whether it is properly or not. We have to first of all adjust this line is not in a symmetrical manner. So we have to left click over here and then we have to adjust it likewise. Now similarly, we have to select this point and we have to give a proper shape to all these splines. And then OK. Similarly, we have to come to this tongue line. We have to select this line. After the selection, so we have to match it properly. Similarly, we have to adjust it in a proper way and then OK. After the making adjustment of this line, we have to select again this tongue line and then we have to select it and go to the insert breakpoint and we have to insert one breakpoint over here. Again we have to select it and we have to readjust it until we are familiar with these shapes. Now we have to readjust the facing of this facing line. We have to select this line and we have to arrange this line in a straight line. And then OK. Now we have to see this facing has been properly adjusted or not. Now we have to readjust this line also over here and then OK. Next very important thing, this is the stripe. We have to adjust this gap. There should not be any gap between the lines. Here is the gap. We have to fill this gap and we have to join it. To the hem line of this last. After the joining to the hem line of this last and then OK. Now we have to reshape this is the toe wings. We have to adjust it in a proper way. Likewise, we have to readjust properly. And then we have to reshape it in a proper way. We have to come to this back line. Now we have to see whether this line has been properly arranged or not. We have to arrange this line. We have to match it to the center back line in a proper way. After the adjustment, we have to OK. Now if you have to watch the design properly, if all the lines has been arranged in sequential and smoothly formatted, so you can save it and then we have to go to the file, save as export show 1 and then save it. After the saving this, we have to go to the further next very important operations. We have to trace the pattern and we have to apply the textures to that specified patterns. So for that purpose, we have to go to the 3D pattern menu and we have to select the create pattern, and then we have to select the outline of the toe wings in a clockwise direction. Then you will see that you have to left click over there. So now what should be the thickness of your toe wings? So it should be 1.2 and we have to hit the enter button. After that you have to go to the apply the textures. You have to go to the front and you have to select the textures as like a after the selection of this texture, now we have to trace the next pattern. So we have to go to the 3D patterns and select the create pattern tools, and then we have to select this pattern in a clockwise direction. This is the quarter with the corner. And then you have to, here we can see the offset should be 0 and 1.2 mm will be the thickness of the upper patterns, and then hit the enter button and then go to the front texture and we have to apply the texture as like this color texture we have to apply. After the application of texture, you have to left click to the work area and then OK icon. Then we can see that textures will be invisible. To make visible, you have to left click. It will be invisible. If you want to make visible, you have to left click over there. See, there is the gap, so we have to left click over here and we have to join to the feather edge to this line. Now we have to trace the counter portions. We have to go to the trace pattern 3D and then we have to select the outline in a clockwise direction. .5 should be the offset, and hit the enter button and then go to the front texture and select the texture and then open the texture. Likewise, we can see that we have applied the texture to the traced and applied the texture to the counter portions of this sport shoes also. Is that we have to trace the facing of these styles. So we have to, this is the facing portions of this sport shoe. We have to trace in a clockwise direction. Now we have to go to the front and the texture. We have to apply the texture to these portions, to this pattern, and then OK. After the application of this texture, we have to go to the next process. We have to trace the tongue portions. So we have to go to the create pattern and we have to create the tongue pattern. We have to trace the tongue in a clockwise direction. And then we have to set this here 0.1 and hit the enter button. Now we have to apply the texture to this tongue portions. So we have to go texture and then we have to select this one and then OK. We have to select this facing and we have to give it as a 1 and hit the enter button. To select this quarter portion, there is the offset 0. Similarly, the offset we have to apply to the tongue portions also. So here we have to enter here 0 and hit the enter button. We have to develop the pattern for the counter strap. So we have to select the strap portion in a clockwise direction and then 0.5 should be the offset, and go to the front texture, and now we have to apply the texture of the same color. After the application of texture, we have to see is it properly adjusted or not. Okay, we have to select this one. Here we have to give the 1 mm offset, and then okay. After that, we have to go to the, we have to trace the second step. So we have to trace second step in a clockwise direction. Now we have to apply the texture. Select the texture, and then okay. Similarly, we have to go to the trace new pattern, and we have to select this last step in a clockwise direction. And then we have to apply the texture. Okay, now we can see that most probably all the portions, all the patterns has been completely designed. Now next very important operations is that we have to apply the stitches to all these patterns. You have to select this portion, go to the stitches, and then you have to select the geometry. After the selection of geometry, you have to select the stitches, select the GP first of all, and then left click over here, and then drag and drop over here. Now if you are comfortable with this position of these stitchings, then okay, otherwise you can do the changes as usual. Now the stitching has been applied to these portions. Next very important is that we have to apply the stitching to the facing. Similarly, we have to select the stitch geometry, and then we have to select this GP and select the stitch. It should be the single stitch, and then we have to apply the stitches likewise. Now we can see the stitching has been applied properly. Okay, now similarly we have to select again the facing, and then we have to select the stitch geometry, and we have to select the top line geometry and top line, and then we have to select the stitches, and we have to apply the stitching to this portion up to end, and then okay. After the application of stitches, if you want to do any further changes, drag and drop likewise. It's okay. Now we have to apply the stitches to the counter portion, so we have to process repeat, go to the geometry and select the GP, and the stitches type you have to select, and after the selection of stitch type you have to apply the stitch, and then okay. After the application, if you want modification, you left click over there and then change it over here. Now we can see that the stitching to the counter portions has also been applied. Now we have to apply the stitches to this counter strap, so we have to process repeat, go to the geometry, select the line, and single stitch we have to apply. Similarly, okay, again you have to go to the geometry, select the stitches, first of all boundary, select the GP and apply the stitches over here. Okay, Now we have to select this strap, go to the stitches, geometry we have to select, and we have to select the strap GP, and after the selection of GP we have to drag and drop. Okay, again select the geometry and we have to select this line, and then we have to start the application of the stitching. Next you have to select third strap, go to the stitches, select the geometry and select GP, and we have to draw another wall line. Again we have to select this one, go to the stitches, geometry, select the GP, and after the selection of GP you can drag and drop, left click. Select the geometry and you have to select this line, and from here to end, and then OK. Now we can see that the stitches have also been applied to the entire patterns. After that we have to select the tongue and we have to apply the stitches over here also. We have to select this GP and then we have to draw, and then OK. Now we can see the entire portions has completed. If you want any further changes, suppose we can see here is the gap between the stitches, so we can drag and drop. Similarly we have to select the back portion. If it is okay, then no issue. If required the changes, you can do the changes. Now we can see that very beautiful and attractive types of sports shoes has been designed. Next very important operation is that we have to apply the eyelets to these portions. To apply the eyelet to these portions, we have to select this one and go to the decoration, and then select the applying of the eyelets. Likewise you can apply the eyelets over here, and then OK. If you want to do further changes in your eyelets, so you can change it. You have to left click over there, and then you can drag and drop. Similarly left click, drag and drop, left click, and select this one, you can drag and drop. Now we can see that eyelets has also been applied, but we are seeing that there is the gap. So what we have to do, we have to select, drag and drop, little bit up, likewise. Similarly we have to select this eyelet. You can see this is the left arrow, left click and drag and drop, likewise. Similarly you have to select third one eyelet, left click to the left arrow, and as usual you can adjust the eyelets in your portion. After that we have to select this eyelet and left click to the left arrow key, and then we have to adjust over here. In the same way, last one we have to select eyelet, left click to the left arrow key, and then we have to fit the eyelets. Now we can see that eyelet has been very perfectly applied to this styles. After the application of eyelet and stitches all the things, next very important operation is that we have to mirror to this design to the other side. This is the outer portions, so we have to mirror it to the inner portions of the last. Can mirror it, we have to select the toe wings and go to the mirror. We can see that it has been mirrored. Similarly we have to select this portion and mirror it. We have to select this facing portion and mirror it. As usual we have to select the strap portions and mirror it. Now we can see that we have mirrored all these things in a proper way. We can see that the straps some mistakes is appearing over here, so we have to select all the step. Like this we can mirror all the patterns. After the mirroring of this pattern, you can see that we have created like these types of design very easily and perfectly. In the next class we will tell you about the applications of the laces and sews to this pattern. I hope that this class will be very much helpful to you.